name is Lucie. I worked with Bronwyn and Peachtree this last year in 2024, and I live in South Burlington in South Village. I had a very positive impression of Peachtree during the meeting. It was very different than an experience that I had had with another contractor. And I had also gotten 2 other quotes from other contractors, and I was just very impressed with the forthrightness, just the clarity, the lack of obfuscation, everything. It just seemed like a very straightforward and very above board process. I think that anyone looking to do a home improvement project, whether a small one or a large one, wants to look at several factors. One is, of course, the quality. The second is the price. I think third is timing. And then fourth is that somewhat ineffable feeling of just trust. At least for me, that's an important part of my decision making. So all of those factors together, comparing them to some of the others, just made Peachtree the clear choice for me. The proposal that I received from Peachtree was the proposal that really we stuck with and went through. And I could count on that. I knew it wasn't going to change very much. It seemed fair. It was higher than some of the other proposals that I got, but I felt like it was all encompassing, and I knew that that was really going to be the bottom line. So I was comfortable with that. I felt really heard, respected, and safe throughout the entire project. And particularly the word safe, for me as a woman living alone, is very important. You're opening your home to people that you don't know. And so trust is a really big factor for me in all of this. And I felt so comfortable with you, Bronwyn, with Richard, with Graham, with all of the subcontractors that came. I had a high level of comfort and safety. I also felt heard in every discussion that we had. If Graham and I had a discussion and I said, I'm not sure about that, he would say to me, okay, yeah, I think you make a good point, or let me think about that, and we would problem solve together. I really, really value that very highly. I love how Peachtree communicates. That for me is a huge plus in all of this. I knew Graham every single day. If something changed in the schedule, if there was an update, if there was a delay, if a contractor was coming later, not coming, I knew that the night before, and I appreciate that so much. We're all busy. We all like to plan our days if we can. I never had to worry about whether or not there was going to be a surprise. And that, to me, is such a sign of the professionalism of the Peachtree crew. Graham is, I think, just one of the finest young men, and as smart and as well-versed and proficient in what he does. And so I knew that if anything came up, we would be able to deal with it quickly. And a perfect example was that when the painter one day discovered that there was moisture in the ceiling, we were able to solve that problem very quickly. Graham jumped on it. He had the plumber here the next morning. Graham cut out the drywall. He reinstalled new drywall. And instead of that taking up 4 or 5 days or even a week, it was less than a 1-day delay on the project. That, to me, is where Peachtree really earns its keep. Well, I would say that the completed project for me makes me want to spend more time in the bathroom, which really, you don't necessarily think you're going to do that. But I love my radiant floor heat, which is one thing that I had talked with Graham about and gone back and forth about doing, and it was so the right decision doing it. And the new shower is gorgeous. Everything about it works so beautifully. And the kitchen countertops, I love so much. I think they're beautiful. I redid some chairs to make them match the countertops, and so I'm enjoying my space and everything that's been done. I love the final result. You can see behind me and see the kitchen and the countertops, which I think are gorgeous, and I had my bathroom redone, and I love it. Could not love it more. So I have been pleased from day one right to the last day of the project. My experience with Peachtree was overwhelmingly positive. There were absolutely no negatives to the experience at all. And not only would I consider working with Peachtree again, but I already am working with Peachtree again. And in addition, one of my neighbors is working with Peachtree. So I think I am one of your best advocates. I think working with Peachtree has been such a positive, affirming experience for me. I did a major renovation on a home that I owned on the lake, and it was one of the unhappiest experiences I've had with a very well-regarded contractor. I could not wait for that job to be finished. And I felt so bruised and so disillusioned by the end of that project, including in budgetary terms. And I had exactly the opposite experience with Peachtree. And that level of integrity and trust for me, as much as the quality of the work that was done, factors in why I'm so happy with my experience with Peachtree. Describing Peachtree in 3 words, I would use quality, integrity, and reliability.